I came across a good video on how to replace Singer sewing machine gears. The only problem was the video was not very clear, so I decided to film the gear replacement on this Hushmatic 507, built in 1975, roughly 45 years ago. Undo the slotted nut to remove the base. There is one screw holding the metal plate on. Hopefully you can see the issue. The plastic gear has shattered. You can see they've yellowed and they're not in good shape. There's one screw holding the power socket in place. It will help if you remove the side cover plate, just so you can push the power socket out. Undo the grub screw on the feed drive gear so it's free to turn on the axle. Undo the grub screw on the drive pulley. And this will allow you to push the axle to the left, exposing the retaining circlip. Pull the circlip off with a pair of pliers. Undo the grub screws on the hook bevel gear and pull the axle to the right. And pull the broken gear off the axle. Look at that, cheap junk only lasted 45 years. I've got a replacement set of the 4 gears. Put the new gear on the axle in the same orientation as the original gear. Leave it loose for now. Remove the hook bevel gear and replace it with the new gear. I've made a mistake here, I'll have to fix that later. Now take the circlip off the smaller axle. Be careful not to lose it. Undo the grub screws. Now undo the grub screws on the hook bevel gear and remove it. Slide the small axle to the right to remove the old feed shaft gear. Place the new gear on in the same orientation as the old gear. Reassemble the axle back together. Now this is where I discovered my mistake. The bevel gears look identical, but they're not. The internal hole sizes are different, and only one will fit on the larger axle. Tighten the grub screw on the flat portion of the axle. You'll notice for the feed shaft gear, the axle has an undercut and not a flat portion. This will allow us to adjust the timing later. Place both circlips back onto each of the axles. Tighten the grub screw on the flat portion of the axle of the feed drive gear. Tighten the grub screw on the flat portion of the axle on the hook bevel gear. Tighten the grub screw on the undercut portion of the axle on the feed shaft gear. Install the hook bevel gear and tighten the grub screw on the undercut portion of the axle. Check to ensure the bevel gears are mating. Adjust the position if needed. Now to reinstall the power switch. Retain with a single screw. The side cover clips back on with a single screw to retain it. Check the synchronization between the needle and the walking feet. Once the needle enters the bottom of the machine, the walking feet should be lowered and pushed back, then raise up as the needle is removed. The feet should not move forward until the needle is well clear. To adjust the timing, loosen the grub screw and turn the sewing machine hand wheel. Retighten the grub screw and check the timing again. This time I'm happy with the synchronization. Make sure you've got good engagement with the gears.
Good engagement.
Check that all grub screws are tightened before reassembling the base. So that's it. Hopefully right for another 45 years.